named this code historically cynical exploitativeness, because that's basically what did Confucius say a long time ago? He says, see to it that things are called by their right names, which is a good insight on his part. This is more than of semantical significance. Living the cynical kind of life, this war of each against all, as Hobbes calls it, is not in anybody's self-interest, and consequently it doesn't deserve the name of egoism. But on its own terms, it's an egoistic theory. It's about, conquer others, to aggrandize yourself. So the essence of the code is the claim that an individual should satisfy his desires by any means possible and by any means necessary. Socially, this means that other individuals are merely means to your ends, that they are rightless pawns for you to use and manipulate as you see fit. And if somebody gets in your way, get them out of your way. How? By what means? By any means that it takes. Again, I think this is like the John Gotti school of moral philosophy, right? Of anybody who's seen The Departed, which was based on the notorious Boston gangster Whitey Bulger. This is a gangster school of this is their mentality. This is their school of moral philosophy. So this is a view of egoism that's grounded not in the pursuit of rational, life-promoting values, but in whim, caprice, desire. In objectivist terms, one of Ayn Rand's great insights, I think, in the history of moral philosophy, is that so-called cynical egoism is only the flip side of altruism. It's only the flip side of a self-sacrifice ethics. Because altruism states that what's morally proper is for an individual to sacrifice himself for others. And cynical egoism states that what's morally proper is an individual should sacrifice others to him, to himself. Now, Ayn Rand points out that the two are really, they're variations on a theme. The theme is the code of human sacrifice. Somebody gets sacrificed to somebody. What they both lack is a view of a non-sacrificial life. And so the two of these together, they're the cannibal morality, because neither of them have outgrown the primitive need for human sacrifice. So both construe altruism and cynical egoism, both construe human relations in terms of master and slaves, or masters and servants, exploiter and exploited, victimizer and victim. And this leads us to another aspect of Wynand's power-seeking career. And that's his attempt to break the men of integrity. Now, why does Wynand want to break the men of integrity? Because notice, the price of gaining power is pandering to the lowest taste of the crowd, selling his soul to the vulgar multitude. In order to justify his second-handedness to himself, he must establish that no integrity is possible to man, that every man has his price, that this is the way of the world, that there's no other way to succeed in the world. In short, he seeks to prove that his power-seeking career is not an immoral aberration, but an example of human nature. And this is why there's only one person in the universe of the Fountainhead who's a threat to him, and that is the man he loves above and beyond all others, Howard Roark. Because Wynand believes, again, notice the great irony and the great plot structure here, that Wynand not only befriends, but loves the one and only person who's a threat to him. Wynand believes that success requires sacrificing others to self, and that the only alternative is to sacrifice the self to others, which means to surrender one's goals, to be a nobody, to be a failure, to be in the grandstand watching like Dominique, who has all this great talent but has no career. But Roark's life is on the premise that he and others like him will create values, then trade voluntarily, neither sacrificing self to others nor others to self. So if Roark can succeed by this method, then Wynand's whole career is shown to be based on a lie. His desperate quest to show that there are no men of integrity will then fail. And he cannot escape the realization that he not only sold his soul, he did so for nothing. And this is exactly what happens. Wynand is shattered by the realization that he sold his soul for no purpose and no gain. The realization that he was not born to be a second-hander. And notice the brilliant plot development at Roark's trial. When Roark stands up to receive the verdict, one other person in that courtroom also stands up to receive the verdict, and that is Gail Wynand at the back of the room. And notice that Wynand's guilt or innocence stands in inverse proportion to Roark's. Because if Roark is convicted, more than Roark is convicted, his way of life is convicted. And consequently, Wynand is acquitted. He says, yes, I was right. Yeah, I sold my soul. But it was the only way to make it to the top. At least I got something in return. But if Roark is acquitted, it shows that the man of integrity can succeed in this world. That the man of integrity can make it to the top. He can be acquitted. He can design courtroom homes, which Roger Enright then buys. He can win the love of Dominique Francon. And if Roark's acquitted, his way of life is acquitted. And if Roark's way of life is acquitted, then Wynand's way of life is convicted. And that's exactly what happens. And notice the way Ayn Rand sets it up. Either way here, the hero is going to take a painful blow. Because either the hero's way of life is convicted and he goes to jail, or the man he loves before all others in the world is crushed and shattered. Either way, Roark is going to take a blow. And this is part of Ayn Rand's theory of plot writing. So she said, always make things as hard as you can for your hero. Always make it as difficult as you possibly can. It doesn't take a hero to triumph over everyday obstacles, right? Well, my example of that was, you know, it's nothing heroic about going to meet your lover on a beautiful sunny day when when the weather is perfect. But it does take a hero to fight your way home through 10 years of struggle against gods and men, to win home to your faithful wife Penelope, which of course is the Odyssey. Now, this is the heartbreaking story of Gail Wynand. Now, next, do anybody have any questions on Wynand before we go on to Keating? All right. Should we just take a break here? All right. Well, all right. Let's. I see people wilting under the heat. So let's take 10